Finally, after near miss, after painful near miss, Jack Lisowski is finally a tournament winner, and with this result can finally shake off the long-running tag of being the best player to never win a title. And seeing him win last night was probably one of the most heartwarming moments I've had as a snooker fan ever. There is surely not a single fan out there who wasn't feeling incredibly proud, relieved, happy, any of the positive emotions you could think of when seeing Jack get over the winning line in that deciding frame last night. And it really has been a long time coming. It's not just the 6 finals he had lost beforehand, but he's had so many more near misses where he played amazingly well throughout a tournament, only to then go missing in the quarterfinals or the semi-finals. And there was a moment midway through the deciding frame where Jack looked on course to seal the title, only to miss a couple of reds. And you then began to think, oh no, surely not again. But with Judd unable to take advantage, he finally got that easy chance he needed, and you could really feel it in the arena that everyone was just urging Jack to the winning line. And I'm sure most fans watching through their own TV screens were urging him to do the same. And that is a testament to how much people wanted Jack to achieve this, because when you have a final involving Judd Trump, it's not often that you have a crowd who are so heavily in favour of his opponent. And of course, it wasn't just his near misses on the table that made this moment so emotional, but also the devastating loss of his father at the beginning of the year. I think just having him back playing snooker so soon after that loss is a win, but for him to go on and achieve a childhood dream of his some 8 months after that event is so admirable. I suspect that the moment would have been somewhat bittersweet for him by not having his father be there in person for that moment. But my God, I am sure he was there pulling his boy through those final moments, which again made his win even more special to witness. And what we may also be seeing is Jack already reaping the rewards of taking the decision recently to work with Chris Henry, a man who has coached the likes of Stephen Hendry, Sean Murphy and Mark Selby before. So he was already definitely going to be in very safe, very accomplished hands there. He did of course have a stint with Peter Ebdon a few years ago which didn't quite work out for him, but already, whatever work he has been doing with Chris seems to be working out an absolute treat for him. And even things like this, the fact that he has experimented with different coaches before, shows just how determined he has been to achieve this moment. And with wins against the likes of Mark Selby, Kyle Wilson and his best friend Judd Trump last week, he has more than earned this title. And if we do speak briefly on Judd Trump as well, I suppose it was almost guaranteed that the Northern Ireland Open would be the tournament to get him out of this slightly abject start he has had to this season. Before last week he hadn't gotten past the quarterfinals of a single tournament yet, and not past the last 16 of a ranking tournament, which was a shadow of the kind of form we have become so used to seeing from the world number one. But of course, it was at an event he has won 4 times before, and now been a runner-up on 2 further occasions, that got him out of this slight slump, and there were plenty of positives there for him to take going forwards. Not just getting to the final, but it was how he got there, which was mainly off the back of his B game, really. The reason I highlight this is because it was mainly Judd's B game which was earning him so much success over the past few years. He didn't always power his way to multiple titles every single season, rather he had to scrap to quite a few wins without really ever getting out of second gear, and if he has rediscovered his ability to do that, it could be an ominous sign for the rest of the season. We already know he's been playing pretty well already this season without really getting the results to back it up, shown by the fact that he already has 23 centuries to his name this season, yet he only made 2 last week despite playing in 7 matches, which again underlines how he was finding new ways to get results last week. It is also almost a year now since his last title, which was at the UK Championship last December, but I still see no reason to panic about that statistic, and in fact, with some really big tournaments coming up over the next few months, he still remains as one of the big favourites to win at least one of those titles for me. And last night was probably the least painful final loss he has ever had. We know how close these two are already before even listening to the way they spoke about each other in their post-match interviews. And I even think having Judd be the man he shared that moment with in the final made the moment even sweeter for Jack. Judd even said he was probably happier to see his best mate have that moment rather than steal it from him, something even Stephen Hendry may just be able to empathise with, given the context of the situation. What this result also means is we are still yet to have a player win multiple titles this season. We've had 8 different tournaments and 8 different winners of those tournaments, which, as I've mentioned previously, gives this season a real different flavour to what we've had previously, where we've seen players like Judd Trump, Karen Wilson and Ronnie O'Sullivan winning the lion's share of titles on offer. It was also the 4th final this season to go to a deciding frame, so snooker fans really are getting their money's worth so far, because so often finals can be rather drab, or you can get one player just completely outclass the other, and I'm sure we'll still have finals like that over the rest of the season. But the fact that we're getting so much drama, so many storylines, so many players looking in good form, does bode well for a really exciting season. But I am going to finish the video exactly how I started it by talking about the man of the moment. As I said, last night was up there with one of the most special snooker moments that I've ever seen. It's not often when the entire snooker world unites behind one player, and I think even the biggest Judd Trump fans were willing Jack on yesterday as well. An incredibly humble, incredibly talented young man finally has the title he has so badly craved, so badly deserved, and I think it's fitting that he won a trophy named after a player he to some degree does emulate with the way that he plays the game. I think it has been widely considered, or at least I believed, that once Jack got that title, that first title, the floodgates may begin to open, and it'll be a question of seeing whether that in fact does happen. But for now, let him savour every single second of this moment, because after 15 years of trying, Mr. Jack Lisowski will now forever be in snooker's Hall of Fame as a professional ranking event winner.